Hello everybody, some very exciting news. It seems some Orichalcum has been discovered. This was in March of this year, and it was off Italy in a shipwreck. A ship was about to put into port, and it sank. Why a ship would want to travel out in the Mediterranean in the stormy months, I don't know. The Mediterranean can get quite rough. Possibly a long voyage back from America. And this is Orichalcum. And you know what it is? They've tested it. It's brass. It's red brass. Do you know there are two types of brass? There is red brass, which is essentially it's about 60% copper, 40% zinc. And then there's another type of brass. There's yellow brass. And yellow brass is essentially this stuff here, which is only 15% zinc. And then you have bronze. Bronze is a bit different. Bronze is copper and tin. So bronze would have been from Britain because of the famous tin mines in Cornwall, in Wales. This was brass. And if you look at when this was found, this hoard was actually found, it dates to the 6th, 7th centuries BC. And the authors, the ancient authors, talk about Orichalcum as if it's all been wiped out, as if it's no longer made anymore. It's really interesting. It says here, second only value to gold, and I'll explain why. And for this reason, the author of this says Orichalcum may have been a noble metal such as platinum because that's valuable today, but no, there's another reason. Critias claimed it had been found and mined in many parts of Atlantis in ancient times, but by Critias' own time, Orichalcum was known only by name. So he knew it was sold in ancient times. Why is it not sold anymore in his time of 400 BC? Well, I think it's the same reason why there were tobacco and cocaine mummies from 1000 BC, but no tobacco cocaine mummies from 500 BC. They stopped going to America. That's the reason. And if you look at where zinc is found, I just looked this up. It says here, zinc is the 23rd most abundant element in the Earth's crust. It's found as zinc blende. And the main zinc mining areas are Canada, Russia, Australia, USA, and Peru. In other words, they're getting all this from the New World. Because you need a huge amount of zinc, 40% to make Orichalcum. So they're getting it from the New World. This ship that went all the way back to Italy, they'd already been sailing for 3 months. They were sick of it. They wanted to get back to port, and they risked the storm, and they sank. That's what happened. It's just unbelievable. And who was responsible for this trade? Well, one civilization collapsed just at the time this trade was ending, and they are the Etruscans. And they were succeeded by the Carthaginians. The Carthaginians were a relic of the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians were taken over by the Persians, Babylonians. But they survived in the West, and they conquered the trade away from the Etruscans. The Etruscans used to rule the waves. After they became a land empire, they became very vulnerable, and a city full of refugees, a small little town called Rome, full of refugees from the Hittite Empire who are running away, Trojans, mixed with the Latins. They were trying to get their independence for hundreds of years. And they were saying, we're a republic, you're a monarchy, you're bad, evil, wicked. And because of this national spirit, they conquered the Etruscans, it seems. This republicanism. It's so strange. It's so strange. And do you know what? The whole Atlantic scenario becomes quite clear when you look at a map of 6000 BC. Each one of these is a culture, but what it really is, it's the extent of a factory monopoly exporting its trade goods or exporting its pottery, because that is the political boundary at which that pottery is able to be exported to. So, in ancient times, Orichalcum they were no longer getting it by Critias' time. You just look at this map. It's all here. So ancient Athens, quote unquote, was actually this Dimini The Balkans was just like today. They were Balkanized. They didn't have a say in this matter. This was the Atlantean Empire. And the Atlantean Empire, in all the descriptions, is confused with Atlantis. So people are actually looking for an island which is bigger than Libya and Asia. Libya, the Greek word for Africa. But in fact, it could be the whole empire that's being described. And when they talk about elephants, mineral springs, rich in metals, well, Britain was rich in metals. Spain was rich in metals. This was probably the most metal-rich part of the world at one time, except for Cyprus, which is named after copper, Kypros, copper. And of course, they had a stranglehold on metal coming from America. So that's why they had this Orichalcum monopoly, and they were dictating terms to this culture here, which is some kind of proto-Roman Empire, proto-Etruscan Empire, which would have been working with these people and the proto, whoever was in Turkey. They would have been working with the Egyptians to try and drive prices down, because prices of orichalcum were just too high. And this is why it was second only in value to gold, because they had to bring it all the way from America, from the Lake Superior region, Canada, USA, Peru. Did you see that that description clearly stated that zinc comes from Peru? And, of course, the megalithic stones. So it all starts to become clear now. An international trading network across the Atlantic. And these people, when they built their megalithic cities, their trading posts, they built megalithic fortresses to protect their trading posts. And this is how Giza started. This is like the Portuguese Empire that used to build fortresses everywhere. Except they built these huge megalithic cities everywhere. Or they could be even older. I could be wrong. Guys, thank you very much. It's always a lot of fun. If you like it, please subscribe. There's a lot more coming. I guarantee a lot more. Thanks very much.